Trophy. Just 3 games remain in the 8th European Tour event of 2016 in the PDC calendar. And the 4 men left standing are all previous winners on the European Tour. Mensur Suljovic won his first one just last week. James Wade has 2 to his name, as does Kim Huybrechts. But Michael van Gerwen, the world #1, a man who has won 12 of these events, has just fired in 115 average. A tournament record, a record for this European Darts Trophy, the 4th highest official recorded average we've seen on the European Tour in its entirety. Can anybody stop him? Well, it's down to Huybrechts in the other semi, or potentially one of these 2 in the final if Huybrechts cannot get the job done. James Wade has been very efficient. He's been doing enough. He's played very, very impressive stuff. He's done what James Wade does. He wins games. But Mensur Suljovic, this was the stage where he always came a cropper. Semi-finals. It took him 12 to finally get past this hurdle. He did that last week and went on and won it. Could he make it back-to-back Euro Tour titles? Dan Dawson talking you through this one with Chris Murphy.
Yeah, there is certainly a feel of the boys are back in town for the semi-final lineup, because 2 absentees from Riesa last weekend and the 2 finalists from Riesa last weekend in action.
First leg, Mensur to throw first. Game on.
While Mensur Suljovic was winning his first European Tour title, James Wade was probably lying in bed, resting up. He had a virus that kept him out last weekend, and will have much the same feel in the next semi-final. Michael van Gerwen missed last weekend's tournament with an ankle injury. Kim Huybrechts missed 7 match darts in the final.
Yeah, it doesn't appear
60.
to have done Wade or MVG any harm having the week off. We were wondering whether they'd be here fighting fit for this weekend. Well, I think they have answered that rather emphatically, as Wade fires in 3 perfect darts to get the semi-finals underway with a bit of a bang. Mensur Suljovic, he has a surprisingly good record against the 7-time major champion James Wade. You may remember back at the Worlds in 2011, so in December 2010 is when the game was played, but hang on, that story can wait. That story can wait, because James Wade has started with 6 perfect darts to leave 141, and Mensur had 64 out the board, but it's kind of a footnote, because
80.
Wade is looking for the 9-darter.
Well, they used to call him 009. And they changed it to the machine because he stopped hitting 9-darters.
101.
Yeah.
Carry on with your story, Dan.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, that World Championship meeting between these 2, it may have been a lot of people's first look at Mensur Suljovic, as he fires in a top 40 to put pressure on this double top. For a 10-dart leg, James Wade. 11 will do. As we take a trip down to Wadey Town in double 10.
Second leg, James.
Yeah, that may have been the first look a lot of people had at Mensur Suljovic a good 6 years ago. And he took on James Wade in the second round of the World Championship, and he won it 4-2. He played superbly, and he was just this big,
59.
weird Austrian who threw in a strange way, and you didn't know what to make of it, and you were wondering how the dart was going where it was supposed to go. But since then, we've got to know and very much love Mensur Suljovic and his weird action and weird antics and strange throw. And over the last 2 years, he has become incredibly effective with it. He beat James Wade in the UK Open earlier this year. He beat him 9-2. He beat him at the Grand Prix last year, 2-1 in the opening round.
121.
He has 6 victories from their 9 meetings, and there are not many people in the world of darts that have a winning record over those sort of number of meetings against James Wade. He is the world number 6 for a reason.
Yeah, and he's been around that position, top 6 in the world rankings for such a long time. You look at players that have been in the top 10 for more than 4 or 5 years, and you've only really got Phil Taylor, James Wade and Adrian Lewis.
Yeah.
MVG now, since he started winning titles around 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But they have been in there for such a long time.
And that is despite never making a final or winning the World Championship, the biggest prize of all, which obviously helps your ranking no end.
99.
But Mensah hasn't been beaten on the European Tour stage for 8 matches now.
Well, we're some way
100.
off threatening Michael van Gerwen's record of 21. But,
He's closer than anybody else's right
well, yeah,
now.
it is. He's leading the way on the European Tour, Mensah Suljovic. 8 games unbeaten. And his win against Peter Wright in the quarterfinals.
60. James
His first ever
138.
win against Peter Wright in a competitive game. So, yeah, Mensah Suljovic is on the crest of a wave. But if there is anybody who likes to just spoil parties, it is James Wade. He
58.
quite happily.
He required
He brings winning runs to
147.
an end, James Wade. He did it to Phil Taylor in Blackpool at the match play. I believe he did it to him in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, he's just ended Michael Smith's domination of this particular tournament.
Yeah, quite.
Back-to-back winner Michael Smith. Wade saw him off 6-5 with a 100 average.
131.
Not too
James
shabby at all
required
from the
80.
machine. Now he wants 80. So tops to double his lead.
40. And so you require 16.
Bottom lip comes out from James Wade. Seen that plenty of times. Double 8 for Mensah to level it up. Getting closer.
No score.
Not to be.
James, you require
Well, that
40.
hasn't been happening often for Mensah Suljovic. 3 clear darts at double, and none of them finding the bed. And James
charge in
Wade
the second
finds a
leg.
double 10
James
bed
Wade.
yet again.
Erling Mensah to throw first.
And now he does have a
Game on.
2-0 cushion.
$45.
Well, Mensah Suljovic, you would hope that he makes more PDC finals,
60.
having spent so long falling repeatedly, 11 semi-final defeats, including 2 massive ones on the telly, the Players' Championship finals and the Grand Prix, both last year. Finally got through to a final and won one. You would think, with the way these playing
100.
carries on, he's going to find himself in more finals. It may not be this weekend. It would be strange to think he would end his career with just the one PDC final, because he's already up to number 14 in the world.
42.
Theoretically, both he and Kim Huybrechts could overtake Raymond van Barneveld in the world rankings this weekend, and they're probably going to do it over the next couple of weeks anyway.
60.
Raymond van Barneveld looks safe for the Grand Prix in Dublin, but not by very much, it has to be said.
140.
Well, it's increasingly unlikely that it'll be in the European Championship. These events make up the qualification criteria for that alone now, but Raymond van Barneveld has not played in it. He's still got a chance to enter, if he likes, the very last one. But he'd have to get to the final probably to qualify.
Because we've got the European qualifiers for the last
100.
two, haven't we?
Yeah, the last two of the Europeans, yeah.
So we've got next weekend in Sindelfingen, the Glasplast, and then we've got the one the following month as well. So he could theoretically go and play in both of them, but
You'd have to get through the qualifiers and then have a decent run in
99.
one or both of them.
they're not easy to get through the qualifiers. You don't ask Vincent van der Voort. He's not made that many of them this year.
Phil Taylor did it quite well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just turned up and won it, and then and then didn't come to another one because didn't need to.
Smash and grab in Austria.
100. James, you require 160.
160 for James Wade. It would hurt. It's not going to happen. And back up to the treble 20.
40.
Just the
And so you
40 to
require
lead Shanghai,
96.
but the problem is with James Wade, those finishes around about that sort of area, you never feel comfortable.
Certainly don't, but 96 is a bit of a Mensah finish, isn't it?
Oh, Mensah. Oh, wow.
68.
Well, that was
James, you require
that was a surprise.
120.
This wouldn't be a surprise. Still a pretty open bed. Well, a completely open bed. But he doesn't find it.
60. And so you require 28.
Well, this time, this is going. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Mensur Suljovic, 3 darts in hand. Double 14. Not a chance this is being missed. Not a chance.
And
Not
charge in
a
the third
chance.
leg. Mensur Suljovic. Full flag James to throw first.
Oh, James Wade's not missing either.
180.
Second time in this match he started with a 180. Last time he followed it up with another one.
He did. Now, James Wade saw off Michael Smith, as you said, the defending champion in the quarterfinals, and he hit 5 180s
60.
in that game. And this is James Wade, who some people say doesn't hit that little red bit very often. You know, that red bit he's hit 5 times in a row? 6 times in a row. And for the second time in this match, for the second time in 4 legs, James Wade has left 1-4-1. He missed with the 7th dart in the opening
100.
leg. Can he take out 1-4-1 for the 9-darter, James Wade?
Well, it's got to happen sometime. Could it happen now? It's going to happen sometime, isn't it?
No, it doesn't have to.
93.
It doesn't have to, but he does look annoyed, James Wade. I know it is a particular bugbear, well, annoyance of his, that people seem to hit 9-darters against him a lot. Well, Mensor's down to a finish, so there's some pressure on this. Tops for Wade for 3-1. Double 10.
28. Meant you require
if this went,
161.
what a 2 visits this would be.
Yeah, the maximum from Suljovic has given him this outside chance. But Wade will return for his favoured
90.
double 10.
Change you require 20.
I would expect this to go as well. Double 5. Ooh.
Deep shot and a full flag.
Toying with Mensur. And he's
With flag
on the
Mensur
old
to throw first.
Mensur headbutt from
Game
James Wade there. Curious.
Well, he played a match against Justin Pipe earlier in the tournament and did say in his interview that he felt that Pipe had gone slower than usual. We kind of figured it was just that one of his darts needed repairing and it took quite a while to do that. But Suljovic is a player that changes the pace of the game. Not particularly to upset his opponent, but he just does whatever he feels like doing, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And this is it. And other players have criticised him, saying, oh, he was slowing me down. And he does get, obviously, you can see him. He slows down. He'll go and address the hockey and then take a step back. And he's got this swing of the arms and he'll jiggle the dart about and then he'll stop again. And he does slow down. But he says, I am only doing that because I'm trying to find a way of producing my best darts. Now, if Mensur Suljovic was doing that and not playing very well, you could then perhaps level at him that it's not actually working, you're not actually doing anything. But the thing is, he is playing well. He's been playing well for ages. Whatever Mensur Suljovic is doing, carry on doing it because it is producing results.
100.
It must be harder for the opponent to play someone like Mensur. We may ask Paul Nicholson about this in the next game, but someone who changes the pace is different waiting times,
60.
I suppose, when you're behind him. Unlike a slower player who at least plays at
in
the
a
same
set
time.
rhythm. Yeah. It's a rhythm thing, isn't it? I mean, I remember Terry Jenkins, I think he was due to play Justin Pipe at the World Championship.
105.
And one of his plans was to take a penny up on stage, just leave it on the floor and just kick it around, just to pass the time and just give him something to focus on in between visits while Justin was taking his time.
105.
Neck
you
and
require
neck in this leg.
96.
It is. 12 darts thrown each. 96 left. Suljovic. You would say he needs this more than Wade does right now.
Oh, can still do it. Treble 17 for double top for 3-2. And there it is. Good finish from Mensur Suljovic.
James to throw first.
Wade he finds a treble first dart. It hasn't flustered him. Not bothered at all, James Wade.
Well, for the third time in this match, James Wade has kicked off with a 180. Now, the previous two occasions, he followed it up with a 180. The first leg, he 6 perfect darts. Next time he did it, he went 7 perfect darts.
So obviously he's going to throw 8 now and 9 later on. No, it doesn't quite work like that, does it?
No, it doesn't.
100.
Yeah, talking about waiting times as we were, James Wade did have a little bit of bother with Raymond van Barneveld in the Grand Slam last year as old Ray took the match to Barney time and made him wait a little bit longer. He was standing back and composing himself, and James Wade took umbrage with that, and there was no handshake after the game, and it was all fun and games for the viewers, but not really for James Wade.
Oh, I love Needle.
81.
Love it. Wade won't like that last dart, though. I know it knocks off the 1, and he could come back and go treble 20, treble 20. It'd leave his favourite double 10. But if he'd just got an extra 19 points, it'd be a little bit easier for him, although Mensor's missing big numbers as well.
125.
Good last dart. Leaves 96 again. Needs another.
Will he get a shot?
130.
Well, Suljovic, he went
Mentor, you
the
require 96.
5 treble 17 double top route last time out.
I don't think he'll aim for that this time. Now, treble 16 again. Hits the treble. And bang in the middle of the double 14. The Mensor headbutt counter ticks over another. I believe we're at 13 now. It's difficult to keep track.
7th leg, Mensor to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, during that celebration, he threw a punch at his own hand. I hope it wasn't his dart throwing hand, because there was some weight behind that one.
Well, Mensur Suljovic, that was the break back that he needed. And although... kicks off 180 as well. And although James Wade did get a dart at double 10, it was a massive finish he was asked to take out, but having hit the 2 treble 20s,
97.
he kind of backed him to hit the double 10. It's his favourite double. He's the best double 10 hitter in the world, James Wade. But missing it that once, he may be forced to pay, as Mensur Suljovic can only go 4 perfect darts. I say only.
130.
But it's still a strong start to a leg after getting the break that he needed. Looking to consolidate here and go into the lead for the first time.
140.
Yeah, he seems to have been able to wear Wade down a little bit in this match. He's looking very comfortable with James Wade. But Suljovic, with that trademark finishing, a trait that they both have, has got himself back into the match.
Oh, Wade being forced to hit something big here to apply pressure, and big is exactly what he hits. That's a sick 180 for James Wade.
51.
Mensur, 19 for double 16. Double 16. Mensur takes the lead. 12 darter, followed by an 11 darter. And that is world-class stuff from Mensur Suljovic. Can he keep it going? Because 2 holds of throw will be enough for the Austrian to book his place in the final of the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy. And look at that. Yeah. 15, 12, 11.
Really up the ante now, Mensur Suljovic. 2 finals
60
in a week, possibly, for the Austrian. 2 trophies in a week, potentially.
Oh, it could be. After so many instances of disappointment
99.
and pain for Mensur Suljovic, falling repeatedly at the semi-final stages in ranking events. 5 times on the European Tour alone before last weekend.
Both players around the 100 average mark. James Wade said if he plays like that,
99.
he'd win. He is playing like that, and he's not winning.
Well, not yet. But do not discount the machine, because in close games,
92.
he is unbelievable. And we saw against Michael Smith that it got to 5 all, And then Wade produced a really strong final leg to close it out.
100.
I mentioned that Mensur Suljovic last weekend, he took advantage of the opportunities presented to him. He only beat two-seeded players. We said at the start of the weekend that if Mensur is going to repeat that kind of run and make the final, he's going to have to do it the hard way. It's going to be, theoretically, harder for him to do it. But this weekend, just look what he has done. He managed to overcome
140.
top players. Peter Wright, his
150.
first win against him. Oh, James Wade. Needed another one for a go at double 15. Mensur Suljovic.
110.
For what could prove to be a killer blow in this one.
Yeah, this could be absolutely vital for the Austrian. 102 required. Oh, he's found the treble. Suljovic for another break.
Game
And he's hit the double that he always hits. And Mensur Suljovic is one leg away from a second final in the space of a week.
Mensur to throw first.
And once
Game on.
again, James Wade must be feeling the Doppel 14 Mensur angst. When Mensur is stood at the hockey and he's got a dart in his hand looking at double 14 for a leg, you must get a sinking feeling
140.
because you reckon he is going to hit it. He has hit it again, and he has just won 4 consecutive legs against the
100.
multiple major champion James Wade, a man who has 2 European Tour titles, including won earlier this year in Hamburg when he beat Michael van Gerwen and then went and beat Dave Chisnell in the final. But Mensur Suljovic, he was too strong for Ian White, who averaged 104 against him. He was too
100.
strong for Peter Wright, recording his first ever win against the world number 5. And right now he is too strong for James Wade, even though Wade has hit 6 180s in this game. But that is the crucial bit, 56% checkouts.
Yeah, definitely the difference between these two. Neck and neck in the leg, but Suljovic with the darts in his hand, that's an advantage.
100.
That last treble could be crucial. How many will Wade get? He's got 2 already.
140. Mensur Uruguay 161.
Well, he's hit this already this weekend. He hit it earlier on this afternoon against Ian White. If he can repeat the trick, he's in the final. He's not going to do it. And Wade will look at 1-2-1.
How many
95.
times have we
James
seen
Uruguay
James Wade take out
121.
finishes like this? His doubling has not been brilliant today, and it will only be a shot at the bull, if that. And he doesn't even get that. So Suljovic will return for 66
57.
for a spot
Mensur Uruguay 66.
in the final.
Well, if you thought that it was a fluke that Mensur Suljovic made it through to the final last weekend in Riesa, A, you were wrong, because he's been threatening for ages. But B, he may be about to just go and illustrate how wrong you were. 6-3, and Suljovic is in the final. Mensur Suljovic back-to-back European Tour finals. And it could be back-to-back titles for the big Austrian. He extends his brilliant record against James Wade. That's 7 wins in 10 meetings against him. But more importantly, he might be able to go and claim a second PDC title, a second Euro Tour title in the matter of 7 days. He will take on either Kim Huybrechts or Michael van Gerwen. Will it be the world number 1 or the man he somehow managed to beat in the final last week? We're going to find out in a few moments. But Mensur Suljovic, he has been superb this weekend. If he can carry it on, it could well be yet another magical weekend for the Austrian.
Mensur, klasse. Was für einen Lauf du hier gerade lebst. Das ist der Wahnsinn. Deine zweite Finalteilnahme in Folge. Du hast so lange darauf warten müssen. 11 Halbfinalniederlagen nacheinander. Und jetzt gewinnst du 2 Halbfinals hintereinander.
Aber zuerst muss ich meine Frau Enisa begrüßen. Sie hat echt gesagt, zuerst muss ich meine Frau begrüßen und den Huber Wolfgang. Und jetzt kann ich deine Frage antworten.
Wo sind die beiden denn?
Die sind daheim.
Ach, die werden jetzt schön gegrüßt über den Livestream. Ja, selbstverständlich. Also, zweites Finale in Folge. Sag eben, du hast so lange auf dein Finale warten müssen. Und jetzt so ein Lauf.
Ich habe am Anfang überhaupt nicht geglaubt an mich. Ich war immer im Halbfinale und verstolpert leider und verpasst. Und der Peter Wright war immer auf meiner Seite. Ich habe immer gegen ihn verloren. Heute hat geklappt und ich bin wirklich stolz auf mich.
Ja, klasse. Wir machen das Ganze kurz. Konzentrier dich auf das Finale. Wir sehen Mensur Suljovic wieder. Er steht hier also zum ersten